Please take your seat. Any member who has a petition to present to the House may please rise to do so. Olmudederi.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name is Honorable Haruna Isa Dederi. I represent Karai Rogo Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I'm from Kano State. Right Honorable Speaker, I have a petition to present. The petition is jointly signed by Dr. Abdul Malik Ahmad Lawan, Halima Ibrahim Zubairu, Habib I. Ahmad, Binta Musa, Vitus Okudili Ajaibu, Asukuti Jani Ahmad, Engineer Muhammad Sharu, and Musa M. Yakase. And it is signed by all these petitioners for and on behalf of the Coalition of Parents of Foreign-Trained Medical Doctors that sat for the recent assessment examinations of the Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria, MDCN, held at the Usman Danfodio University Teaching Hospital, Sokoto, in respect of certain wrongdoings in the conduct of the MDCN examinations and for outrageous increment in the examination fees, which has risen to 900,000 naira. The petitioners request the intervention of this honorable House to redeem their situation. I seek your leave, sir, to lay the petition.
Please go ahead and lay a petition. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Mukhtar Ahmed, politically known as Morovia. I represent the people of Kaduna South Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Kaduna State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I have 6 petitions that I will summarize in 1 minute. There are 2 petitions against the Nigerian Police Force for wrongful dismissal of 2 individuals from the Nigerian Police Force. I have another 2 petitions from host communities in Bayelsa State against the Shell Development Company and Ajib. There's a petition against the director in the Federal Character Commission on the appointment that was descended by one Mr. Okechuku. Then finally, Mr. Speaker, I have another petition against the National Power Training Institute of Nigeria. With your permission, Mr. Speaker, I will lay these 6 reports before the House. Thank you very much.
Honorable Mukhtar, go ahead and lay a petition. Respected colleagues, any member who has a matter of urgent public importance to present to the House may please rise to do so. Should I start from the Briggs Masquerade or let me start from Mr. Edem.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, my name is Idem Unyime, member representing Ukanafun, Orowonam Federal Constituency of Akwa Ibom State. Mr. Speaker, I rise under Order 8, Rule 4, to present matter of urgent public importance, and it's a call to condemn the trend of inhumane treatment in Nigerian boarding schools across the country and comprehensive investigation into the activities of Nigerian boarding schools system. Mr. Speaker, I seek the leave of the House to move that our rules be suspended for this matter that is very urgent and important, that involves the lives of the innocent Nigerians that are being wasted in various boarding schools across the nation to be taken. Mr. Speaker, I so moved.
Seconder, Honorable Obanikoro.
Mr. Speaker, Majority Leader, my dear colleagues, gentlemen and women of the press, our guests at the gallery, I'm Representative Ibrahim Babajide Obanikoro. I speak and represent Etiosa Federal Constituency in the Center of Excellence, Lagos State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second this motion, ably moved by my colleague. I so with an amendment.
You are just to second the motion at this.
Okay, I rise to second the motion as moved. Thank you.
Thank you. Those in favor that the motion is urgent for us to take now, say aye. Against, say nay. That's have it. Honorable Eden. Please help us maintain silence in the house.
Honorable Kabiru, please. You should take your seat. Leader. Yes, you either go or you come back to your sit down on your seat. And members, I want to draw your attention, please. Wear your mask. Wear your mask. Please.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, my name once again remains Idem Unyime, member representing Ukanafu Norogonam Federal Constituency of Akwa Ibom State. I rise to present this motion, and it's a call to condemn the trend of inhumane treatment in Nigerian boarding schools across the country and comprehensive investigation into the activities of Nigerian boarding school system. The House are aware that boarding students, apart from having classes together, eat and live in the same house. Most times they are only separated when they all go home to their parents or guardians during holidays. Why there is no way to make a broad conclusion as to whether boarding schools are good or bad, some recent developments in Nigeria have triggered public outrage as many share their experiences. Note that the social media has been agog in the last few days following the report on Sylvester Oromoni, a 12-year-old boy who recently passed away on the 27th November 2021 while nursing multiple internal injuries alleged to have been sustained after he was beaten by his fellow students who were bullying him at a boarding school. The parents of the deceased said he was attacked for declining to join what he termed as the secondary school sports group, dominated by older boys at Dowen College in Lekki, Lagos. Note also that another incident leading to the death of 14-year-old Karen Hapok Andodo Akpaya of Premier Academy, Lugbe, Abuja, on the 22nd day of June 2021 is one that left many heartbroken.
Honorable Blessing, please concentrate.
Our parents narrated how their daughter was sexually assaulted and later died of complication as a result of a condom left in her private parts. 6 months later, there is still no news of a suspect being arrested. Cognizant that following the two recent cases, some Nigerians on the social space have been voicing out their bitter experiences with boarding school system of operation. A public analyst who spoke on the trending issue said bullying is a major pandemic in Nigeria boarding school today. Also, social organizations have attacked the Ministry of Women Affairs and Education over their silence and complacency on the several incidences of killings and abnormal behaviors in our boarding schools across the country, describe their position and inaction as disappointing.
Honorable Osai, allow leader to concentrate. Honorable Osai.
Cognizant that the federal government should, without delay, launch a national campaign. The campaign should include advocacy, public sensitization, and social mobilization, as it will take the joint effort of government, school management, and parents to curb ugly happenings in our boarding schools. All hands must be on deck to curb the spread of this new trend. The House resolved to condemn in strong terms the recent incidences of inhumane treatment and abuses happening in the boarding schools across the country. Urge the Federal Ministry of Education to set out guidelines for the operations of boarding schools across the country. Mandate the Inspector General of Police to immediately commission and take over the investigation, prosecution, and punishment of the perpetrators of the identified heinous crimes. Mandate the House Committees on Education, Youth Development, and Women Affairs and Social Development to follow up with the investigation. Set up committee to brainstorm and come up with the modalities and report to the House within 2 weeks. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, I so move.
Seconder. Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. My name is Jim Abdurrahim Olajide. I represent Lagos Mainland, Federal Constituency, Lagos State. I stand to second the motion as moved by my colleagues. Thank you.
Honorable Eden, lead the debate. Or do we just put the question? Adam, maybe in 2 minutes, and then I will give Chidoka. If you just get it, but the interest is quite large, and because 3 of them have approached the chair for this particular motion, I will plead with the House to give them 2 minutes to make their submissions. Thank you. Adam. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues. Mr. Speaker, these recent developments in our boarding schools is something that really call for, attention of the lawmakers, because these children that are being wasted, these children that are being molested, are the children that we are representing. They are our constituents. So we cannot watch this kind of situation happening in our boarding schools across the entire country. So that's why I rise this morning and appeal to my colleagues to join voices and then stand and defend the innocent children, innocent Nigerians that only go to school to develop the talent, the God-given talent, so that tomorrow they can become better citizens and contribute towards the development of this country. Mr. Speaker, I want to also use this opportunity to call on Federal Ministry of Education to rise to this challenge. They cannot allow schools to run their boarding schools the way they like. This issue is everywhere. I said in a motion that the Federal Ministry of Education should set out proper guidelines on the operation of boarding schools, because I'm quite sure if proper measures have been put in place, all these killings wouldn't have been taking place. There would have been a proper way of monitoring the activities of these children. So I want to submit by saying that my colleagues should join voice to call on Federal Ministry of Education to commence effective monitoring of boarding schools across the entire nation. Mr. Speaker, I so submit.
Mr. Eden, thank you. Chidoka, please respect the 2 minutes.
Honorable Kusada, take your seat. Honorable Kusada.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name is Obinna Chidoka, member representing Idemili North, Idemili South Federal Constituency of Anambra State. Incidentally, this is one of the motions I was billed to move this morning, but our brother has taken it.
We have allotted 2 minutes to you, and we are going to stop you by the time we are 2 minutes exactly.
I just need a minute. So I need to put just an amendment to it since he has taken it extensively. The amendments will include that the House do observe a minute silence for those who have died from this brutality, and the House also commiserates with the families. It is very important for us to send this strong signal that our children cannot be treated in this way. There was one more case in Kwara, if you remember, that trended, where they were giving corporal punishment to a student in Kwara. These incidences cannot happen. And on the criminal aspect, for the IG of police to investigate thoroughly and give us a feedback for all the schools and parents and the PTAs to know that the National Assembly, especially the masses, the House of the Masses, cannot fold their hands and see things happen to our children. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Obanikoro. Then we'll take last Akinjo.
Honorable Bagos, approach the acting chief whip.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Again, I'm Representative Ibrahim Babajide Obanikoro, represent Etiosa Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, the Sylvester Oromani case happened in my constituency, and I've been involved in the investigation. Like my colleagues have said, I just want to add to the prayers of the motion that the newly created Safety Standard Committee and Committee on Education to conduct a review of safety regulations and guidelines in public schools. In this particular matter, there are 5 students that are involved, and all of them are a flight threat, and that their names should be placed on the no-fly list, and that the school, as shut down by Lagos State, will remain shut until investigations are over and the school is cleared of all these allegations, and that the death of young Sylvester should be investigated thoroughly. That's my submission and admission to the motion ably moved by my colleague. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. I so move.
Akinjo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for yielding the floor to me. My name is Koladevi Akinjo, and I represent the good people of Ilajese, the Federal Constituency. First, let me join others to appreciate the mover of this very clever and very instructive motion. The population that is impacted by this action is quite huge. The compass of development of this country is resting on this young generation. And there's nothing wrong with private schools because we run almost a private economy. But there's something wrong with the regulatory authorities. They owe it a responsibility to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and to Nigerians to do proper oversight and regulation of these institutions. You cannot leave the boarding schools without proper regulation. So it is the responsibility of the regulatory authority to do what is right, to save Nigerians from this embarrassment. It's a huge embarrassment for those boarding schools to be converted to Curtis medium. And so I wish to join the mover of this motion, to raise my voice against this very heinous crime, and to also say that the regulatory authority must do the needful on behalf of Nigerians. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. God bless.
Thank you. Respected colleagues, there's an amendment on this particular motion by Honorable Chidoka. Can we have a seconder? Yes, my brother.
Right Honorable Speaker, my dear colleagues, I remain Henry Wauba, and I speak for the enterprising people of Umbitoli Kedru Federal Constituency. I rise to second the amendment as moved by Honorable Chidoka. I so second.
Chairman Custom, you come late and you are distracting the House. Chairman Custom.
Those in favor of the amendment say aye. Against say nay. That's have it. From Honorable Fulata.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, I'm Abubakar Hassan Fulata, President of the New York City Assembly of the Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Jigawa State. Mr. Speaker, my amendment is that in an existing committee, we have a committee on safety and standards. It should be part of the agencies to take care of this motion. Thank you.
Seconded to the amendment? Yes, sir. My brother from Benue.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Benjamin Bem Zondo. I speak for the people of Makudi, Buma. We are from Benue State, and the voice of the teeming unemployed youth. I rise this morning to second the amendment as ably moved by Honorable Fulata. I so second.
Thank you. Those in favor of the amendment say aye. Against say nay. That's have it. Those in favor of the amendment of the motion as amended. Another amendment? From who? Banikoro. You still have an amendment? Thank you. Those in go and move the amendment. Oh, yeah. Honorable Blessing has another amendment.
Mr. Speaker, my name is Blessing Onyecheonu, and I represent the good people of Otukpo Ohimini Federal Constituency. I am from Benue State. I'd like to amend that the social workers of Nigeria be added to this bill, or to this investigation findings that we are doing. Because we know that the social workers, they are not doing anything. They should be sent to every school in this country so that they can look into such matters when it arises. I so amend.
Seconder, Honorable Chidoka.
Obina Chidoka, member representing Idemili North, Idemili South Federal Constituency of Anambra State. I write to second that social workers should be sent to school to monitor.
Honorable Kusada,
that social
go back to your
workers,
seat.
Are you amending the amendment?
No. I'm seconding what she has said. When there is a fire, throw whatever it is you want into the fire. So I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Those in favor of the amendment say aye. Against say nay. That's have it. Those in favor of the motion as amended say aye. Against say nay. That's have it. Actually, that you have the next matter of urgent public importance. We will observe the 1 minute silence before our motion. Can we rise? May their soul rest in perfect peace.
Right Honorable Speaker, sir, I want to make an observation that members who don't have wear face masks, they should leave the chamber, please. Members without face mask, please, they should go and wear their face mask. Thank you, sir.
I hope you are not referring to Honorable Babangida.
He's among them, sir.
Okay. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I remain Honorable Ndudi Godwin Delvelu, and I represent the good people of Anocho Federal Constituency. I'm from Delta State. Mr. Speaker, I come under Order 8, Rule 4 and 7, matter of urgent national importance, and also seeking the leave of the House to suspend all the relevant rules to enable me to take the motion. Mr. Speaker, The motion borders on how Nigerians are being treated today in the world, particularly to recent decision of United Kingdom, just mere speculation to ban Nigerians from entering United Kingdom. And Mr. Speaker, it's not just about banning them. Even our children that are there schooling, you are aware that whether Muslim or Christians, we observe all festive period. So this period turned out to be a period that families do stay together. Now, if you have a child that is in school abroad, what the law says is that when they come back, and most of them have an exam in January, starting from 2nd of January, when they come back and they go back, they will not be able to go back to their school. They will have to be quarantined for 10 days, but that is not the issue. They will have to pay £2,700. And even after paying, it is not guaranteed that they will find hotel accommodation that is being prescribed by the UK government. So I want this House to rise up, as we have always done, to look into this matter and direct our Committee on Foreign Affairs COVID-19 Presidential Task Force to see how they can interface with the Embassy of the United Kingdom so as to resolve this matter as quick as possible. This is the matter of urgent national importance.
Seconder, Honorable Noli.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, my name is Noli Munaji. I represent in Kano East West Federal Constituency. I'm from Enugu State. I rise to second the motion heavily moved by minority leader. I so second.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. Go ahead and present the motion, leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The House notes that an announcement made by the United Kingdom Health Secretary Sajid Javid on Saturday, the 4th of December 2021, a temporary ban was placed on foreign travelers from Nigeria to the United Kingdom with effect from Monday, the 6th of December 2021, as a result of concerns over the Omicron COVID-19 variant. The House further note that the decision covered travel to the United Kingdom for tourism, business, visiting friends and family, undertaking short-term business activities, short-term studies, exchange programs, as well as medical reasons. The House also aware that this is coming only a few days after Canada extended its travel ban to travelers who recently visited Nigeria. The House further aware that though the ban is for Nigerian bound for the United Kingdom, it does not exempt over 8,000 Nigerian travelers that have bought air tickets to visit Nigeria during this festive period, as the restriction will affect their re-entry into the United Kingdom after holidays. The House is worried that rather than seek to work with its Commonwealth ally on ways to combat and curtail the spread of this new variant, the United Kingdom government decided to outrightly ban Nigerian travelers from entering their country, which is a sharp contrast to that of the United States government, whose response is for travelers to produce evidence of negative test results at the point of departure, as well as a day 2 test results after arrival in their country, a response that have received wide commendation across board. The House further worried that United Kingdom government chose to announce the ban without discussing the data in its possession with the Nigerian government, but instead gave an hour notice to the Nigerian authorities before its inclusion on the red list, contrary to known international convention.
Former aspirant of Deputy Speaker, go to your seat, please.
The House therefore concerned that Omicron variant has now been found in over 40 countries around the world, including many from the European Union, but only Nigeria and a few African countries have been banned by the United Government. The House further concerned that this decision is, if left unchallenged, will stop thousands of Nigerians that normally come back home at this time of the year to boost the social and economic activities of the country from coming into the country, thereby causing the nation serious revenue loss. The House therefore disturbed that if the government does not urgently engage the authorities of the United Kingdom, this decision will have a significant impact on businesses and travelers intending to carry out lawful transactions in the UK, as opportunities and investments already made will be lost, hence the need for a quick interface. The House further disturbed that children who school abroad and are thought of returning home during this festive period to rejoin their families, and with fear that when they later go back, will be subjected to 10 days mandatory isolation center and be made to pay £2,700 for such hotel bookings, may be totally discouraged from coming home and thereby deny such family the opportunity of their children rejoining them for this annual family union. The House therefore resolved that the House mandate its committees on health, foreign affairs, and presidential task force committee to interface with the same ministries of health, foreign affairs, and presidential task force on COVID-19 on the best ways of urgently resolving this issue. Mr. Speaker, I so move.
Wonder. Yes, sir.
Former aspirant of Deputy Speaker in this ninth Assembly, please go back to your seat. Honorable John Day from Benue, please go back to your seat.
This boy is a madman. Marky, you know where
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. My name is Boluga Ikemboju, and I represent the people of Okutukupa Irele, Federal Constituency, Mr. Speaker. I'm from Ondo State. I rise, Mr. Speaker, to second the motion as ably moved by our minority leader. Mr. Speaker, I so move. I so second. Thank you.
Is it our minority or your minority leader?
Our minority.
Your minority leader.
Yes. I so second. Thank you very much.
Leader, lead the debate.
Honorable Mariam, you came late and you are disrupting the sitting. Please, get seat.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, just like I earlier on highlighted, whether a Muslim or a Christian, we usually have a particular moment within the year that will observe some festive period. And in those periods, I have not heard where a Christian will say, because I'm a Muslim, because I'm a Christian, therefore when Muslims are observing their festive mood, he will not observe the public holiday that is granted to everybody, nor Muslims do otherwise. So it is a universally accepted norm that in a particular period, people come together to thank God for what God has done for them and have opportunity to also bring themselves together and unite themselves for the purpose of family union. Mr. Speaker, on the other hand, also, one of the key areas of living any particular environment is for awareness and further educate oneself. So in some instances, during this period, some people are bound to go out to seek for daily bread. And some also are bound to sometimes take a leave and perhaps have a break, go outside and see the other world and know what that world can offer. Mr. Speaker, in this instance, we also have a colonial relationship with the United Kingdom. And I have no record to show that we have been unfair to the United Kingdom as a country. But it bothers me that every time any minor issue comes on board, the way they treat us, They treat us as if we are not human beings. Mr. Speaker, recently there was a video that went around Cameroon, former Prime Minister, making jest of Nigerians and saying how we waste money or whatever. And this to me is unfair. Because if I could remember from what I've read in the history, even they themselves came to Nigeria, exploited our resources, and nothing happened. And we did not ban their people from entering our country. Today, now for a flimsy excuse, and I have no record to show that any Nigerian has contacted Omicron COVID-19, but just mere saying, United Kingdom decided to put a big hammer, not only to say, okay, those who want to come, to have an option of doing a test and be certified that they are carriers or not. They put a complete ban on everybody from entering the United Kingdom. And it is implied by that ban, because what the criteria is that you, before you embark, either for business or for social visits, that you must go through their system and book an accommodation. And they prescribe that accommodation is £2,700 for somebody who is just going to buy a ticket for $600, and you now have to pay £2,700 in the event that you're going to school, or that you're even going to buy some few things that you need to sell. How much will that now be? It will not be, the impact will not be on the final consumers. So I think that this is not good. British government ought to have dealt with Nigerian government in terms of interfacing and discussing with the Presidential Task Force or COVID-19 to ascertain whether there is any carrier at all or any positive record of Omicron variant in Nigeria. They never did that. Instead, they just took a blanket decision. Mr. Speaker, I think that it's bad that they have taken this decision. It is not good for us. Because we are black does not make us less race in the world. And it's very bad, and this can be termed to be racism. I feel that this is a racist action that should be condemned by everybody, and it is bad. I heard somebody whose child has an exam on the 3rd, and the condition is that they must come back here and renew their visa before they can go back, because their visa is expiring. And now, even if they are granted that visa upon being renewed, they will now have to bid to get a hotel accommodation. In getting hotel accommodation, the exam that will be starting on the 3rd, 4th, they will miss that exam. This is not too good, and I think the House should please rise up, as we have always done, on behalf of Nigerians that have sent us here to represent them.
Thank you, Leader.
Thank you, Mr.
Yes, Honorable Leader.
My honorable colleagues, I remain Honorable Garba Datti Muhammad. I represent Sabangari Federal Constituency of Kaduna State. I rise to support this motion as ably moved by our leader, the minority leader. Mr. Speaker.
Are you in the minority?
Huh?
Are you in the minority?
No, he's a leader in the House.
Okay.
Mr. Speaker, this issue of banning Nigerians from entering United Kingdom as a result of this variant of Omicron, which did not even originate from Nigeria, but we have been made to be listed in the red list of countries that will not enter United Kingdom. Mr. Speaker, the United Kingdom has always been treating Nigerians with maximum contempt. Just like the way the Secretary General of the United Nations said, this is travel appetite. Mr. Speaker, Nigeria is an important country in the Commonwealth of Nations. We have been in the Commonwealth I don't know the benefit we derive as members of Commonwealth. In support of this motion, Mr. Speaker, I will even call further, let us review our membership of Commonwealth. Let us review, because I don't know the benefit.
I beg of you, Honorable Dati. You are a leader, not only in the House, but in the nation.
Yes.
And from the submission of the mover of the motion, he has tried to bring to the facts before the House that we have a very working relationship.
Mr. Speaker,
so it is not time to begin to ask for cutting of ties within our
Honorable
no, even the Secretary of the United Nations have said
I want to beg of that. I want to beg of that so that we just restrict ourselves to the motion and then move things that will improve the welfare of our citizens.
No, at least we deserve respect, Mr. Speaker. We are an independent nation. We are not still subservient
thank you, sir.
to the United Kingdom.
Comrade Goro.
Thank you.
Honorable Halims, go back to your seat. Honorable Halims.
Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, I am from Kano State, and my name is Comrade Aminu Suleiman. I represent Pagi Federal Constituency. Honorable Speaker, sir, motion under reference, of course, deserve support for the image and pride of our dear country. However, and I hope I'm not going to offend the sensibility of the mover of the motion and those sympathetic to it. Number one, my worry in the first place is that we should have done an internal self-assessment. When this new COVID called Omicron was announced, because we have people who suffer from oral diarrhea in Nigeria, our officials rose up less than 24 hours to the announcement of the emergence of this disease to say, yes, Nigeria will have it. It was the NCDC that made this announcement, that we have it in Nigeria, as if they are waiting for disease to emerge before they announce that we have it. Now, what is the fault of the British government? If they said we should not enter their country, what is the point? We should have done an internal self-assessment to investigate the reason and rationale. Why are they not happy that we have fought to the end the COVID and he is phasing away, and somebody is thinking that he is not done with what he is doing in that office, and therefore the office should not be closed? So let us embrace, rightly or wrongly, the emergence of another COVID in another form, in another name. So for us to sit here and begin to castigate another sovereign country for taking the decision that we have admitted have capacity to inflict their own citizens, we are just being selfish. We have admitted we have it. As a country, we have admitted. So for me, the British government have right to say we should not go there. And therefore, my take on this is that as much as what they did is reprehensible, let us follow a diplomatic way, because we have our children who are studying there. We have people with medical cases. On those exemptional areas, I think we have a duty to fight diplomatically to ensure that there is some form of modification in the action they have taken against our country.
Thank you for finally supporting the motion.
No, I'm not supporting.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. My name is Jima Abdurrahim Olajide. I represent Lagos Mainland, Federal Constituency, Lagos State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to support wholeheartedly this patriotic motion on the floor being brought by the minority leader. I call it patriotic because We are all Nigerians, and we are in Nigeria. We are human beings. This, what has meted against us is injustice. The basic principle for justice is fair hearing. Even in a football match, before a red card can be given, before a red card can be issued, there must be yellow card. No warning. In any establishment, if you have committed an offense, there must be query. After query, you can be suspended before a drastic action can be taken. What they have taken was nothing but drastic. Yes. What they have done to Nigeria is nothing but rubbish. What they have done to Nigeria should be criticized and ensure we oppose this wholeheartedly as a Nigerian, because every single one of us shall be judged commensurate to the work of our hands. If we are black, that does not mean we are inferior. We share the same blood. We share the same brain. Whether you are black or you are white, we must treat one another and each other on equal basis. What stops British from asking questions? Go through the diplomatic process before a drastic action be taken. This is condemnable, it's rejected, and we must not take it. Mr. Speaker, I thank you very much for the opportunity.
Are you for it or against it? Then you wait for your time. Now it's for those who are in support of the motion. Yes, Honorable Osai.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I want to beg that because there are so many people who have indicated interest to speak.
Distinguished
we should restrict ourselves to 1 minute, please.
I remain Honorable Osai Nicholas Osai, and I represent the Kwani Federal Constituency of Delta State. Mr. Speaker, I'm coming under compassion ground, in a compassionate way, because the issue canvassed by the minority leader of the House are germane and to be seen to be used on that consideration. If not, we should be able to examine ourselves as a country whose economy was booming at the time, and yet economy is nosediving. At the time in University of Nigeria and Nsukka, most West African and African countries come to my school, for admissions and school. But today the reverse is the case. But that being the case, Mr. Speaker, because our children's future is what we are trying to treat. Most of our children are in UK, as canvassed by a minority leader. We should look
most
at
of our
that.
children?
I say most Nigerian children.
Please. Even my brother, we are speaking for Nigeria regardless of the number. But I don't think it is right for you to say most Nigerian children are in UK.
Well,
Thank you.
some of our children some of our children are there. So based on that, Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleague, I feel that on that compassionate ground, we should be able to diplomatically meet with the British government as members of the Commonwealth, through which our laws are also originated from that angle. And we have been doing things over the years. Since 1960, Nigeria became an independent nation.
Thank you, Honorable Osai.
On that ground that
yes,
I feel
my brother.
move ahead.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, my dear colleagues. I remain Henry Nwauba, and I speak for the enterprising people of Mbitoli Keduru. First of all, I want to support this motion by our minority leader wholeheartedly, and to announce to the House that happily my children are schooling in Nigeria. Mr. Speaker, I think the issue we have here today has a political dimension to it. It has a medical dimension to it. It has a scientific dimension to it. We are in the era of a pandemic. And all it takes for a pandemic is one outbreak, in some remote part of the world. And before you know it, it is global. The United Kingdom have said to us that the Omicron variant is already inside the UK. As at last week, 8 countries announced that they already had cases reported in their countries. Check the numbers today. You see that it is growing. And therefore, I mean, you don't go to lock the gate after the goat has already escaped. That is what the UK is doing. I know families that are personally affected by this red list, putting Nigeria on the red list. People who have come here for a burial, they came all the way, a complete family, only to go back and they said no, they have to pay each of them £2,000 in a hotel for 10 days. I think there are other options that the United Kingdom can explore. And I wish that our government will engage diplomatically and will use the facts of science to say, look, these are the ways that we can go about this thing that will be humane, because after all, we are in the season of Christmas. People have made all the traveling arrangements all over the world that they are going to come to Nigeria, and some Nigerians will also travel out. At this time, I think this is ill-advised, and I think the UK should be bold enough to reverse their own decision.
Thank you, Honorable Henry. Noli.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, my name is Noli Naji, Kano East West Federal Constituency from Enugu State. Mr. Speaker, in as much as I'm aligning myself to the motion, but we also need to understand that this thing is a wake-up call for Nigerians. It's a wake-up call in the sense that imagine a country like Nigeria. What they are trying to tell us is not just about UK, it's all over the world. They are trying to block us. They are trying to tell us to go to hell, that we should go and fix our country. The problem we're having is that we're not fixing this country, and that's why we're having all these problems. Imagine even Ghana. At some point we had issue with Ghana, they blocked us. At some point we had issue with South Africa, they blocked us. Just not last year we had issue with UAE, they blocked us. And now UK, our darling UK, has also blocked us now. So what we need to do is not just about whether it's not about racism, it's about telling us to go and fix our country. And I think we just have to sit down and fix our education. We need to fix our health so that we don't have a lot of people traveling out for medical checkup and educational support. So in all sense, I believe that we should just sit down and find a way to solve our problem so that we won't be getting this kind of insult from countries outside this country. Please, thank you.
Yes, Honorable Bagos.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. I'm Dachu Musa Bagos, representing Just South, Just East Federal Constituency. I'm from Plateau State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, this is truly a wake-up call. The same UK that has blocked Nigerians, I'm very much aware that the highest number of passports that have been processed in the UK, over 20,000 of Nigerians. And despite what we have been doing to even generate revenue for the same government and trying to come back to backlash on us, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I expect that at this particular moment, let's initiate what are those bilateral relationship clauses that we have with such countries. What are those issues that can't we hit back? Can't we tell them the same thing, and why are we so much afraid of them? I believe that this is a time for us to show that truly we are the giants of Africa, because we are not begging. So it is time that we should stand and rise as leaders to really tell them that, look, it is not just about us, but it's about the entirety of Nigerians.
Thank you. Brother from Ondo. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. My name is Bulugai Kemboju. I represent the people of Okitipupa, Irele Federal Constituency from Ondo State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I rise to support strongly the position as canvassed by the mover of the motion. And having listened to a few contributions from members, Mr. Speaker, I'm very bold to say that there's no amount of opposing argument that can diminish the impact of this action by the British government. And I believe at the level of diplomatic level, something can be done to address this situation. However, one thing that we need to learn from this decision and something that's just happened is the state of our healthcare system. I don't know what reasons, apart from the fact that there is a variant that has been identified in Nigeria, but the same variant of this virus has been identified in the United Kingdom as well. However, for a country like Nigeria, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, that 3.5% of the population has only been vaccinated, it doesn't tell a good story. And one of these reasons will be carrying the brunt and the hardship of decision of some developed countries and WHO is because we have not been thorough. I mean, it's appalling, 3.5%. My colleague just told me now. I was asking for the statistics. So this should be a wake-up call that as a country, those are the indices this organization, these countries will use to assess our healthcare system. It's not good enough. We need to call healthcare Ministry of Health and tell us how many percentage of Nigeria has been vaccinated. We need to push at that level. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. My name is Onofiok Luke. I represent the people of Etinan, Nsatibom Surubium, Federal Constituency of Akwa Ibom State. Mr. Speaker, I want to align myself first with the letter, the spirit, and then the intent of the motion as moved by the leader. And I want to say that it's sad listening to views canvassed by my colleagues, those who spoke before me. And one that strikes me most is the kind of treatment that we have gotten from other countries that have been mentioned. We've had the case of UAE, and now we're having UK. And then we have other persons. It's quite challenging, and then we said it shouldn't be so, and then we should deploy diplomatic means to be able to resolve this. That's on the one part, Mr. Speaker. But for me, of greater concern is need for introspection. Mr. Speaker, if we built our country to be the giant of Africa that we are, where we all join hands with the leadership to make sure that the right things are done, the right facilities are being put in place, and then we make sure that there's a right assessment for measurement of any indices, whether in the healthcare or education, or even in tourism that leads our people to go en masse into other countries. I believe that we will not be much bothered by these challenges that we are faced today. And so my call today is, wheresoever we are, wheresoever we come from, we have to rise in unison to support the leadership of this country, whosoever it is, today, tomorrow, in the next 10 years, in the next 20 years. This is a time that there is need for us to fix our country. We've had a whole lot of brain drain, Mr. Speaker, and we need to fix our healthcare. We need to fix our educational system. With this, we need to fix, Mr. Speaker, our security. Because most of the people that are being affected by the ban today are people probably wanted to go on Christmas holiday. Mr. Speaker, if we have had security, I don't see what would have been wrong for somebody from Enugu or Imo State driving all the way to Nyankari Resort in Bauchi, or somebody going to Nike Resort in Enugu, or coming to Lomeridian in Akwa Ibom State, or going, Mr. Speaker, to Shiroro in Niger State to be able to spend his or her Christmas, or going to a Ekpe resort in Lagos. So, Mr. Speaker, my point is this.
You have not mentioned the mother of all presidents in Nigeria, and that's Jos.
Mr. Speaker, Jos, Plateau, in short, Wase, local government in particular, Mr. Speaker. Wase, local government. For us to come and enjoy the clement weather that looks like the weather of UK at this point of the day. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to urge us, if there's any time that we must rise and do the right thing to fix our country, for the future of this country, so that we avoid this embarrassment before us, the time is now, and we must act. While we are blaming others, let us look inward and fix ourselves. Thank you, sir.
Well, Deputy Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name is Toby Okechukwu, and I represent an area of Oji River Federal Constituency from Enugu State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, this motion on the need to intervene on the suspension of issuance of visitors' visa to Nigerians by the United Kingdom government is appropriate. It comes within the realm of our rules of a matter that is urgent and public, because any attempt by any government, no matter the jurisdiction, to weaponize an emergency is dangerous. If COVID is to be weaponized to ambush the citizens of other countries, Mr. Speaker, we should rise up to it. Our understanding and what we have learned from the past is that all these bans, all these travel bans ended up to no issue. It is better when governments, authorities develop proper protocols to deal with pandemics. It is better there is proper scrutiny, because the economic consequences of what the United Kingdom government has done without putting Nigeria on notice, people have made the arrangements for economic activities, and suddenly, within 48 hours, you are placing a travel ban. I think the Secretary of the United Nations has captured it essentially. He said it's travel appetite. As a matter of fact, Mr. Speaker, when something is not driven by science, it's not driven by knowledge, it's just mere emotion, or more importantly, to assuage your local population for politics, for them to believe that you are trying to protect them, Mr. Speaker, is mistaken. So I think that this travel ban should be lifted. The House should intervene to make sure it comes into effect. But more importantly, Mr. Speaker, in my local language, there is an adage that says, "Abu sibo otule, omulako." When you have an insect bite from one side of your bottom, then the other side should learn lessons. Mr. Speaker, I think you were presiding here when we discussed COVID and the need for Nigeria to manufacture vaccines. We cannot farm out our responsibility. You see a situation where the European countries, advanced countries, are hoarding vaccines. They are not making it possible for African countries to purchase the vaccines. So we need to look inwards and manufacture our own. What do they expect? When you look for vaccines, you have your money to purchase it, and you are not able to buy. And we are talking about 3.5% of our population. Where do they expect those other citizens to go? Africans must have to travel. So it's better there is a bilateral equity in the distribution of vaccines, in ensuring that the citizens of every country has a fair share. So I support wholly this motion, and I think it should be carried. Thank you very much.
Yes, comrade, against.
you, my respected and my respected colleagues. I'm Johnson Egwahide Oguma. I represent all the people of Esako Federal Constituency. I am from Edo State. Mr. Speaker, I have respect for the leadership of the House. Most especially the minority leader that happens to be my younger brother. I respect him. And I want to say...
What is the age difference?
It's much. It's much. I'm in the 60s. It's much. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to say that just in every of our debate on this floor, we always make several references to our Constitution, that the responsibility of every government is for safety, protection of the citizenry. I will not blame Britain, I will not blame Canada, nor America. What has happened is to caution us. In 2020, when this pandemic came, every one of us were in our various countries, nobody was traveling. What has just happened is because of the happenings. To start with, our task force reported 21 cases within Nigeria. The British government said flights from Nigeria to their country, 24 were already recorded. And they have a responsibility to protect their citizens. So also, we have responsibility to protect our citizens. Why am I saying this? Is because since 2020, and as of today, only 3% out of 200 and something millions Nigerians. And to say the least, we even beg Nigerians, please take this vaccine, it's very, very important. Most of our drivers, even our house helps, our secretaries, they are not vaccinated. We have drugs. We have drugs lying in fallows. Vaccines are there. Nobody wants to take. Nobody is wearing mask. We think it's a joke, and we are losing lives. They have responsibility to protect their nation. We have responsibility too to protect our nation. Mr. Speaker, what am I saying in effect? I have nothing against them, and they have not done anything wrong. They have a right. We also have a right. But Mr. Speaker, I want to suggest that my suggestion is in form of amendment to mandate the House Committee on Health Services and Foreign Affairs to liaise with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to ascertain the cause of blacklisting Nigeria and measures to salvage this situation. Wait, why am I saying this, sir? I have not ended. This, what has just happened to Nigeria, is to call us to order. It's to call us to order, to look inward and look into ourselves. Certain things that we are not doing right. Pandemic is real, and we cannot, if we keep playing with it, we'll be losing lives. If they have stopped us, let's do the right thing. Stopping us is not an everlasting thing. It's just a measure to call us to order. To do the right thing so that we will be admitted.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I want to beg our colleagues that we have not just started the real business of the day. No, the clarification is simple. He said he was speaking against, and he has, at the end of the day, applauded the effort of the federal government in terms of what they have done, provision of vaccines for the citizens, protecting their life. This has been done, and she has eulogized that one. And as far as the business of the House is concerned, among our own responsibility is to ensure we protect the citizens of our country wherever they are. And where unduly we are met with measures that are not in line with international, we deploy other means to sort out issues in favor of our people. And I think there's nothing wrong with this motion. So I now put the question. Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. That's have it. Respected colleagues, the first business of the day is presentation of 10 bills. I now invite the clerk to read their short titles.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, Survey Coordination Act Amendment Bill 2021, first reading. International Convention for the Prevention of Pollution from Ships, 1973 and 1978 Protocol, Ratification and Enforcement Act Amendment Bill 2021, first reading. Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria Act Amendment Bill 2021, first reading. National Insurance Corporation of Nigeria Act Amendment Bill 2021, first reading. Haliru Dantoro University of Fisheries, New Busa Establishment Bill 2021, first reading. Federal College of Nursing and Midwifery, Ado Odo Ota, Ogun State Establishment Bill 2021, first reading. Nigerian Mental Health Bill 2021, first reading. Mental Health Bill 2021, first reading. FCT Compensation, Resettlement and Welfare Board Establishment ETC Bill 2021, first reading. National Public Safety Board Establishment Bill 2021, first reading.
Thank you, Mr. Clark. The second business of the day is presentation of report of the Committee on Privatization and Commercialization on a bill for an act to repeal the Public Enterprises Privatization and Commercialization Act P38 Laws of Federation of Nigeria 2004 and enact the Public Asset Reform Bill 2021 for improved efficiency and management of public assets in Nigeria and for related matters. Standing in the name of Ibrahim Makama Misau. All members will recall the bill was referred to the committee on Tuesday, 28 September 2021. The report is ready for presentation. Honorable Misau is invited to present the report.
It's not, okay, it's on. Mr. Speaker, my dear honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Ibrahim Makama Misau. I represent Misau Damban Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Bauchi State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to move that the House to receive the report of the Committee on Privatization and Commercialization on a bill for an act to repeal the Public Enterprises, that is the Privatization and Commercialization Act, Cap P38, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and enact the Public Asset Reform Bill 2021 for improved efficiency and management of public assets in Nigeria, and for related matters, HB 1470. I moved.
Seconder, Honorable Kijo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My very dear colleague, Koladevi Akinjo is my name, and I represent Elijah State of Federal Constituency, Elijah man from Ondo State. I rise to second the motion as ably moved by my dynamic chairman, Honorable Ibrahim Misau.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable Misau, go ahead and lay a report. Respected colleagues, the third business of the day is presentation of report of the Committee on Committee on Information, National Orientation, Ethics and Values on a bill for an act to repeal the Advertising Practitioners Registration Act, ETC, Act Cap A7 Laws of Federation of Nigeria 2004 and enact the Advertising Practitioners Registration Licensing ETC Bill for establishment of Council of Advertising Practitioners as an apex regulatory authority for the Nigerian advertising profession and practice and ensure smooth operation of the council and for related matters. Standing in the Honorable Olusegun Odubemi, all members would call the bill was referred to the committee on Tuesday, 23rd June 2021. The report is ready for presentation. Honorable Odubemi is invited to present the report.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. Odebo Mishegun is my name. I represent the good people of Surulere Ogolua Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I rise that the House do receive the report of the Committee on Information, national orientation, ethics, and values. On a bill for an act to repeal the Advertising Practitioners Registration, etc. Act Cap 87, Law of the Federations of Nigeria, 2004, and enact the Advertising Practitioners Registration, License, etc. Bill for establishment of a Council for Advertising Practitioners as the apex regulation authority for Nigerian advertising professional and practice, and ensure smooth operations of the Council and for related matter. Mr. Speaker, I so move.
Seconder, comrade.
Thank you. My respected colleague, I'm Johnson Egwahidi Oguma. I represent all the people of Isako Federal Constituency from Edo State. I rise to second the motion ably moved by my colleague, Honorable Lugumi. I so second.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable, go ahead and lay a report, please. Respected colleagues, the fourth business of the day is presentation of 3 reports of the Committee on Aviation, standing now Honorable Noli Naji. Honorable Naji is invited to present the report.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, my name is Honorable Noli Naji. I represent in Kano East West Federal Constituency of Enugu State. Mr. Speaker, I'm the Chairman, House Committee on Aviation. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, on behalf of the Committee on Aviation, we hereby move that the House do receive the report of the Committee on Aviation on a bill for an act to repeal the Nigerian College of Aviation Technology Act Cap N96, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and enact the Nigerian College of Aviation Technology Bill to provide for its organization, council, and operations, and for related matters, HB 463. Mr. Speaker, we will also move that the House do receive the report of the Committee on Aviation on a bill for an act to provide for establishment of Nigerian Safety Investigative Bureau for the regulation, prevention, and providing effective administration for safety investigation in Nigeria and for related matters, HB 465. That also that the House also do receive the report of the Committee on Aviation on a bill for an act to repeal the Nigerian Airspace Management Agency Act Cap N90, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and enact the Nigerian Airspace Management Agency Bill for the purpose of providing efficient air navigation services in Nigeria, ensuring safety and regulation of air navigation in Nigeria, and to any other places which Nigeria has responsibility of providing air navigation services, and for related matters, HB 462. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, I so move.
Part of the House.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Benjamin Okize Carlo. I represent the good people of Nigeria, starting from Ben, the Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion, ably moved by my friend, brother, and colleague.
Honorable Monrovia, Honorable Ladan. Honorable Monrovia, please.
Motion ably moved by the Chairman Aviation, I so second.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. Naji, please go ahead and lay a report. Colleagues, the first order of the day is the third reading of the Bill for an Act for certain rights and privileges for older persons, to provide health, economic reliefs, and to protect their social and civil rights, and for related matters standing in the know of the House Leader. All members recall that the House adopted the report of the Committee of the Whole on the bill on Thursday, 30 November 2021, and now I therefore call on the Leader of the House to move that the bill be read the third time.
Mr. Speaker and my distinguished colleagues, I am Comrade Peter Ohionzoja Patterson, MNI. I represent the great people of Akoko Edo Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I am from Edo State. I move that the bill for an act for certain rights and privileges for older persons, to provide health, economic reliefs, and to protect their social and civic rights.
Chairman Aviation, allow leaders to concentrate,
for related
please.
matter, HB 1263 be read for the third time. Mr. Speaker, I so move.
Seconder. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Jima Abdurrahim Olajide. I represent Lagos Mainland, Federal Constituency, Lagos State. I stand to second the motion as moved by Majority Leader. Thank you.
The question now, the bill be read third time. Those in favor say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it.
Honorable
Clerk is
Halims,
invited
put
to read the long title of the
put your
bill.
face mark properly. Honorable Halims, put your marks properly.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act for certain rights and privileges for older persons, to provide health, economic reliefs, and to protect their social and civil rights, and for related matters. Third reading.
Bill read the third time and passed. Respected colleagues, second order of the day is the third reading of the bill for an act to repeal the National Human Rights Commission Act (CAP) N46 Laws of Federation of Nigeria 2004 as amended, and enact the National Human Rights Commission Bill to strengthen the Commission to conduct investigation and sustain activities in Nigeria and for related matters standing in the name of the House Leader. All members would recall that the House adopted the report of the Committee of the Whole on the bill on Thursday, 30 November. I therefore call on the Leader of the House to move that the bill be read the third time.
Tell that man to leave there.
Honorable Bagos, allow Speaker to concentrate. Leader is on. Leader has the floor, please. Thank you.
Once again, Mr. Speaker, I move that a bill for an act to repeal the National Human Rights Commission Act (CAP) 46 Laws of the Federation of Nigeria and 2004 as amended, and enact the National Human Rights Commission Bill to strengthen the Commission to conduct investigations and sustain activities in Nigeria and for related matters be read for the third time. Mr. Speaker, I so move.
Honorable Luke, Honorable Ben. Honorable Luke, Honorable Ben.
Seconder. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, my name is Boniface Emerengwa. I represent the good people of Ikwerema Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion. I will move from my colleague that the bill be read for the third time.
Respected colleagues, the question now is that the bill be read the third time. Those in favor say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk is invited to read the long title of the bill.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to repeal the National Human Rights Commission Act (CAP) N46, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004 as amended, and enact the National Human Rights Commission Bill to strengthen the Commission to conduct investigations and sustain activities in Nigeria and for related matters. Third reading.
Bill read the third time and passed. The Speaker colleagues, the second order of the day is the third reading of a bill for an act to repeal the National Human Rights. The third order of the day is the third reading of a bill for an act to repeal the Nigerian Postal Service Act N127 Laws of Federation of Nigeria 2004 and establish the Nigerian Postal Commission to make comprehensive provisions for development and regulations of postal services and for related matters, standing in the name of the House Leader. Honorable members will recall that the House adopted the report of the Committee of the Whole on the bill on Thursday, 30 November 2021. I therefore call on the Leader to move that the bill be read the third time.
Mr. Speaker and my distinguished colleagues, Comrade Peter Hiozoji Apatison, MNI, representing Akoko Edo Federal Constituency. I move that the bill for an act to repeal the Nigerian Postal Services Act (CAP) N127 Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004 and establish the Nigerian Postal Commission to make comprehensive provisions for the development and regulation of postal services and for related matters, HB 1337, be read for the third time. Mr. Speaker, I so move.
Seconder. Yes, sir.
Thank you, our Right Honorable Speaker, my honorable colleagues. I am Honorable Dr. Ajibola Muraime. I represent Barakwa Central, Barakwa North Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues, I'm from Oyo State. I rise to second the motion ably moved by Right Honorable Patterson, Deputy Minority. The
Deputy Leader of the House.
Deputy Leader of the House.
Thank you.
I so second, sir.
Well, my brother, you are forgiven because you are from minority. So your allegiance first is to the minority. Those in favor of, the question now is the bill be read third time. Those in favor say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk is invited to read the long title.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to repeal the Nigerian Postal Service Act, CAP N127, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and establish the Nigeria Postal Commission to make comprehensive provisions for the development and regulation of postal services and for related matters. Third reading.
Read the third time and passed. Respected colleagues, the fourth order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principle of bill for an act to amend the Federal Capital Territory Customary Court Act 2007 to alter the quorum of the court for the purpose of ensuring timely disposition of justice, expand the criminal jurisdiction of the court, and for related matters standing in the name of the House Leader. All members will recall the bill was transmitted from the Senate, seeking concurrence on the House and read the first time on Thursday, 16 September 2021. I now invite the Leader to move that the bill be read a second time.
I move that a bill for an act to provide for the establishment of federal a bill for an act to amend the Federal Capital Territory Customary Court Act 2007 to alter the quorum of the court for the purpose of ensuring timely dispensation of justice, expand the criminal jurisdiction of the court, and for related matters, HB 1592, be read for the second time. I so move.
Speaker, colleagues. You don't want a seconder? What is the issue? Yes, sir.
Yeah, you see, we the bill is seeking to expand jurisdictions. And when you want to expand jurisdiction, it means such key areas must be looked at constitutionally, whether you have power to extend such jurisdictional points of areas for the court or not. I was just chatting with the acting leader today. I'm feeling that those key areas must be highly highlighted because we want to make law. Expansion of jurisdictions means a lot. And if those areas are not brought to the fold, we might not be able to align correctly as the law provides. That's my advice. We can also go ahead and pass.
Well, I still want to beg you because this is concurrence. Though concurrence, we're still within the limit of our own powers. By the time we have the complete report, during consideration, you have every opportunity to alter in terms of addition or deducting whatever is at the provision that may have been brought. So I will beg that we allow the second reading so that we'll be able to commit it to committee of the whole and for other further necessary actions. Seconder? Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Respected colleagues, I remain Honorable Ali Mohammed Abdul Mumin, member representing Nassau Total Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I second the motion ably moved by the House Leader. I so second, sir.
Respected colleagues, those in favor that the bill be read second time say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk is invited to read the long title of the bill.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to amend the Federal Capital Territory Customary Court Act 2007 to alter the quorum of the courts for the purpose of ensuring timely dispensation of justice, expand the criminal jurisdiction of the court, and for related matters. Second reading.
Refer to committee of the whole. Respected colleagues, the fifth order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principle of a bill for an act to provide for the establishment of a federal eye center, Iroquois Ipoma, for the prevention of and cure of eye defects and diseases, and to establish board to govern the center and an academic committee take charge of the center's academic affairs and for related matters standing in the name of Honorable Joseph. Honorable members will call the bill was raised the first time on Wednesday, 13 November 2021, and now invite Honorable Joseph to move that the bill be read the second time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name is Honorable Joe Ejonwele, representing Esan West, Esan Central, and Igweben Federal Constituency. I'm from Edo State. I rise to raise a bill for an act to provide for establishment of Federal Eye Center, Iroquois Ipoma, for the prevention and cure of eye defects and diseases, and to establish a board to govern the center and academic committee to take care of the center academic affairs and other related matters. I so move, sir.
Seconder. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Tajuddin Adekun Obasa. I arise to second the motion as ably moved by Honorable Joseph Edionwebe. I so second. Thank you.
Respected colleagues, the question now the bill is raised second. Those in favor say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. The clerk is invited to read the long title of the bill.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to provide for establishment of Federal Eye Center, Iroquois Ipoma, for the prevention and cure of eye defects and diseases, and to establish a board to govern the center and an academic committee to take charge of the center's academic affairs and for related matters. Second reading.
referred to Committee on Health Institutions. Respected colleagues, the sixth order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principle of a bill for an act to amend the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies Act 2021 and for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Francis Charles. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Wednesday, 4th February 2021, and now invite Honorable Francis to move that the bill be read the second time.
Mr. Speaker, it seems Honorable Francis is not on the floor. I move that the second reading of the bill be stepped down by the leader of the House. I so move.
Second reading of the bill stepped down by the leader of the House. Respected colleagues, the seventh order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principle of bill for an act to repeal the Legal Practitioners Act, Cap L11 Laws of Federation of Nigeria 2004, and enact the Legal Practitioner Bill to provide for reforms and regulate the legal profession and for related matters, standing in the Honorable Onyefiok Luke and 25 other honorable members. Honorable members recall the bill was read the first time on Thursday, 14 October 2021, and I invite Honorable Onyefiok to move that the bill be read the second time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Onyefiok Akpan Luke, by the grace of God, I represent the people of Etinan, Nsiribom Surubium Federal Constituency of Akwa Ibom State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to move a motion for the second reading of a bill for an act to repeal the Legal Practitioners Act, Cap L11, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and enact the Legal Practitioners Act to provide for reforms and regulate the legal profession and for related matters. House Bill 1640. I so move, sir.
Honorable Akinjo.
Honorable Serki Nader, our leader, Northern Caucus, where are your face masks?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Sandy, where are your face masks?
My honorable colleague, my name is Kolade Via Kinjo, Elijah of the Federal Constituency, Elijah Man. I rise to second the motion as ably moved by Honorable Luke Onyefiok. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I want to believe this is a very straightforward bill. So those in favor that the bill be second, they say aye. Against say nay. You say? That the compendium has not been given. You say? No. It's about his own privilege, and I believe he has the right to it. Yes, sir. I don't know. I thought it's a very straightforward bill, except we wanted to debate.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I will like giving credit to where it comes from. The only point I wanted to make that this bill comes from the body of benchers. So to give credit to those who have sent this bill to the Committee on Judiciary, and then why it has to be so, and why we are presenting. That's why we needed to. Yes, sir, because we don't. So thank you. So that's the only point that I want to make. If debate is. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Those in favor that the bill be read second time say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk is invited to read the long title of the bill.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to repeal the Legal Practitioners Act, Cap L11, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and enact the Legal Practitioners Bill to provide for reforms and regulate the legal profession and for related matters. Second reading.
Bill referred to Committee on Justice. The eighth order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principle of a bill for an act to upgrade the General Hospital Okigwe for Federal Medical Center Okigwe and for related matters, standing in the Honorable Miriam Onoa. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Tuesday, 21st September 2021, and now invite Honorable Onoa to move that the bill be read the second time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Princess Miriam. My name is Honorable Princess Miriam Odinaka Onoha. I represent the good people of East Alamba, no, Onimo, Okigwe Federal Constituency. I am from Imo State. I'm also the voice of over 35 million Nigerians living with disabilities. This morning, this morning, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues.
What is the statistics, Honorable Marian?
Sir.
What is the statistics?
Statistics is about 31.5
million.
Yes.
What is their source?
National Bureau of Statistics.
I hope.
And recently, December 3rd was the World International Day.
31 million Nigerians living with disability.
Living with one form of disabilities or the other, known. There are so many more unknown because this cloth we wear cover a lot. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I'm protected.
Yeah, you are not protected because you are presenting something that I cannot protect you from here.
Okay, I should drop that part.
I don't know. Okay. Because when you say 31 million Nigerians out of what population are living with disability, it's a very serious statement.
But it is. No. It is. It is. 31 million Nigerians.
Take it down.
Okay. Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, I dropped that statistics. But we will come. I rise this morning to move that a bill for an act to upgrade the General Hospital Okigwe to Federal Medical Center Okigwe and for related matters be read a second time. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I so move.
Sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name is Abdugani Johnson. I represent the good people of Oshodi Solo, Federal Constituency 2. I rise to move the motion ably moved by my friend, Mrs. Sonoa. I so move, sir. Thank you.
Respected colleagues, the question now that the bill be read second time. Those people say aye, against say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk is invited to read long title for the bill.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to upgrade the General Hospital Okigwe to Federal Medical Center Okigwe and for related matters. Second reading.
Please. The ninth order of the day is a motion, bill referred to Committee on Health Institutions. The ninth order of the day is a motion on call to investigate the high level of corruption on nominal roles of ministries, departments, and agencies in the country, standing the Honorable Dachun Musa Bagos. Honorable members will call that on Thursday, 2nd December 2021. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, that motion has been taken. It was included deliberately because I was asked to make clarification to the House on matters bordering on the amendments made to the motion. The motion, as proposed by Honorable Bogos, carried only one prayer: mandate the Committee on Anti-Corruption to investigate the issues of nominal roles, payroll, padding, and fake employment in all ministries and MDS in the country, and report back within the week for further legislative action. However, amendments were proposed to the original motion
but fundamentally, the one that requested to set up an ad hoc committee to investigate the allegation by the ICPC that the review of 221 budget led to the discovery of 257 duplicated projects with a combined worth of 20.138 trillion, and a report back to the House within 2 weeks. Now, there was an argument that this prayer is in conflict with the mandate of an existing committee, which was created as a result of a motion moved by Honorable Yusuf Gagdi, and I'm making reference to the votes and proceedings of Monday, 21st December 2020. There was a committee that was set up and was mandated by the House to constitute an ad hoc committee to verify and provide detailed report of all projects repeated in the budget from 2015 to date, funds released and repeated in subsequent budgets, and report back to the House within 4 months. Now, the committee had reported to the House that due to the COVID-19 restrictions, it was not able to carry its assignment, and requested the House for an extension of time, and the time was their prayer was extended, was granted. Therefore, my submission is that yes, the amendment has affected or has usurped the powers of an existing committee, and therefore the two committees should operate separately. Therefore, the prayer that it should include the issue of capital budget should be excised from the Burgos committee. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You say? Point of order? Okay. Yeah, point of order.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, my very honorable colleagues, Honorable Mark Tese Bila. I represent Way East, Way West Federal Constituency of Benue State. My point of order is premised on Order 18, Rule 3B, that has to do with the duration for committees to carry out their function. I think the Chairman Rules and Business was aware that last week that issue came up, and I believe that if a committee was constituted in December 2020, then they stand automatically discharged by our rules with regards to the function they were asked to do. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Point of order is quite noted. If a committee is discharged of responsibility, it is either it is referred to committee of the whole or another committee is constituted. That is the rules of the House, and that's the engagement. And I want to beg that what the chairman rules submitted are quite apt and are in order. So what now needs to be done is not to align the committee, because one, there has to be progress of what they have done. It is for the leadership now to consider either to allow the committee to continue or to constitute another committee. So your point of order is noted. Thank you very much. Motion stepped down by the leave of the House. Respected colleagues, the 10th order of the day is motion on need to establish a naval security outpost at Bagana community in Omar Lalakogomi area of Kogi State. Standing now, Honorable Abdullahi Ibrahim Halims. Honorable Halims invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, I remain Honorable Abdullah Ibrahim Halims. I'm from Kogi State. I represent the good people of Ankwa, Omala, Olama Borough Federal Constituency. I rise to move this very urgent and important motion on the need to establish a naval security outpost at Bagana community in Omala local government area of Kogi State. The House notes that the clash between herders and the people of Agatu in 2013 led to the displacement of a large number of victims who relocated and settled at Bagana town in Omala local government area of Kogi State, which shares boundary with Benue and Nasarawa states. Also notes that Bagana, a riverine community, is a famous business hub with one of the most outstanding cattle markets in the north central zone, where trade by barter is still practiced, thus making life easier for the inhabitants who are predominantly farmers. The House further notes that the ancient town of Bagana has over 35,000 inhabitants and comprises of diverse ethnic tribes such as Igala, the Agatus, the Hausas, the Nupes, the Yorubas, the Ibira, the Igbos, the Kanuris, and many others because of its vantage location and the numerous economic activities that takes place. Concerned that Bagana is currently bedeviled with insecurity as warring factions of the infamous Agatu crisis, which took refuge in Bagana, are often clashing, which often result in the loss of lives and properties of members of the community. Cognizant of the urgent need for the federal government to intervene and protect the people of Bagana, the House resolves to urge the Chief of Defense Staff to approve the immediate establishment of a naval security outpost to man the vast waterways used by the invaders. 2, also urge the Nigerian police force to establish a mobile force unit, a mobile police unit in the community for rapid responses. Number 3, mandate the Committee on Legislative Compliance to ensure implementation. I so move, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Honorable colleagues, my name is Vincent Ekene Ufumelo, Honorable Member representing the marginalized people of Oyi, and I am in Federal Constituency. I am from Anambra State. Yes, I'm a member of APC. Mr. Speaker, I rise this very afternoon to second this heavy motion as it is moved by my colleague, Honorable Halims. I so second, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. The 10th order of the day is a motion on need. Sorry, the 11th order of the day is a motion on need on suspected. The 11th order of the day is a motion on suspected rape and murder of 14-year-old Miss Karen Andodo. Standing now, Honorable Mark Bila. Honorable Bila is invited to move the motion.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, my very honorable colleagues. My name is Mark Tese Gbila. I represent Gwe East, Gwe West Federal Constituency of Benue State. Mr. Speaker and my honorable colleagues, I rise to move a motion on the suspected rape and murder of 14-year-old Miss Karen Hapuk Aundudo Akpae. The House notes the reported death of Miss Karen Hapuk Aundudo Akpae, a 14-year-old SS1 boarding student of Premier Academy, Lugbe, Abuja, who was allegedly raped and eventually died on 22nd June 2021 from medical complications as a result of rape. The House also notes that Karen was reported to have taken ill on 16 June 2021 without adequate medical care by Premier Academy until her mother took her to a hospital in Wuse Zone 6, Abuja, on 19th June 2021, where she eventually died 3 days later. The House is worried that the medical examination before her death revealed a condom lodged in her private part, which had a milky effusion with the presence of dead spermatozoa within the fluid, which had caused an infection that developed into sepsis. The House is alarmed at the unwillingness of Premier Academy to uncover the truth behind Karen's death and management's media denial of previous cases of sexual harassment of students in the institution, contrary to documentary evidence. The House is also alarmed at the lack of proactive and thorough investigation by the Nigeria Police Force, even after formal correspondence to the police by the deceased family's lawyer and the allegations by Amnesty International of harassment and threat to the lives of Karen's mother, Vivian Akpae, her family, and the leader of the coalition of gender-based violence responders and his family over their public campaigns and advocacy demanding justice for Karen. The House is disturbed that while the whole world recently observed the United Nations International Day for Elimination of Violence Against Women on 25th November 2021 with the theme, Orange the World, End Violence Against Women Now, which marked the launch of the 16-day campaign, Unite to End Violence Against Women, from 25th November 2021 to 10 December 2021, Nigerian authorities do not appear to recognize their obligation to adopt and implement appropriate measures to ensure women and girls are protected from all forms of violence, including rape and sexual harassment, considering the nation's ratification of several domestic, regional, and international protocols and charters on women's rights, ending violence against women, and other human rights laws, including Section 34 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended, which guarantees that no Nigerian shall be subjected to torture or inhuman or degrading treatment. The House therefore resolves to urge the Nigeria Police Force to thoroughly investigate mysteries surrounding the death of Karen, allegations of harassment and threat to the life of Karen's family and the leader of the coalition of gender-based violence and his family, and carry out a DNA test, recover spermatozoa, and test Premier Academy staff to identify anyone liable and bring him to justice. The House also resolves to mandate the Committees on Women Affairs, Human Rights and Police Affairs to invite stakeholders to investigate the following. A, circumstances surrounding the death of Karen Hapuk Aundudo Akpae. B, allegations of the unwillingness of the Nigeria Police Force to initiate an investigation into the death of Karen. C, allegations of harassment and threat to the life of Karen's family and the leader of an NGO and his family. D, previous cases of sexual harassment at Premier Academy, Abuja. E, other incidents of violence against women in Nigeria. And F, provide probable lapses by other relevant agencies handling the incident and report back within 16 weeks for further legislative action. The House also resolves to observe a minute of silence in honor of Ms. Karen Hapuk Aundudo Akpae and other victims of violence against women in Nigeria. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Seconder.
Amendment.
Seconder first before amendment. Yes, leader. Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I remain Honorable Ndudi Godwin Elmelu, and I represent the good people of Anyocho Shumili Federal Constituency. I'm from Delta State. I rise to second the motion moved by Honorable Maguila. I so second.
The amendment, Honorable Bagos.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable colleagues, I remain Dachi Musa Bagos, representing the good, great people of Jos South, Jos East Federal Constituency from the peaceful state of Plateau. Mine is to add on the prayer, because most of these boarding schools receive huge amount of school fees without proper health care facilities within the schools to be able to check most of these things before going to the hospital. So mine is to add that the House Committee on House Services and Health Institution to investigate most of these boarding schools, their health services to investigate their health facilities within boarding schools across the country.
Seconder. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues. I remain Honorable Kabiru Idris, member representing Kura, Madobiga, Rumal and Federal Constituency. I'm from Kano State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I rise to support this very important amendment, heavily moved by my very good friend, Honorable Bagos. I so support, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Those in favor of the amendment say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. Those in favor of the motion as amended say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. Colleagues, the 12th order of the day is a motion on need to rehabilitate Kwale, Ogume, Obia Guruku, Umutu, Agbo Federal Road, standing in there, Honorable Osai, Nicholas Osai. Honorable Osai is invited to move the motion.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues. I remain Honorable Osai, Nicholas Osai, and I represent local Kwani Federal Constituency of Delta State. Needs to rehabilitate Kwale, Ugume, Obiaroko, Umutu, Agbo Federal Trunk Road. The House notes that the road starting from Kwale and continuing there to Umutu and terminating at Agbo on trunk A232 was on the 15th 1974 described and specified by Federal Highway Declaration Order Number 2 as a federal highway. And also note, Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues, that the road runs through two major federal constituencies in Nigeria, vis-a-vis Ndokwa Okwani Federal Constituency and a CAF Federal Constituency that already has established and functional institutions such as Delta State University Campus, Novena University, Marine Technology, College of Education, and School of Nursing, etc. Aware, Mr. Speaker, that Ndukwa land is an oil and gas producing area, and the federal road is a major feeder to Onitsha, Bini, Warri, Asaba Express Road that drives heavy-duty trucks with petroleum products and vehicular movement of people, conveying indigenous acts of weaving, baskets, mantles, and sculptures to the southeastern and northern part of the country. Observe, Mr. Speaker, that 46 years after its construction by the federal government, there has not been any rehabilitation or reconstruction of the failed section of the road. Worried, Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues, that the failed section of the road have become a heaven for hoodlums, hotspot for kidnappers, and fertile ground for armed robbers, who constantly left tales of woes on road users, with people losing millions of nairas and their precious lives. Concern, Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues, that Ndokwa Okwani Federal Constituency is a place where crude oil is being exploited, and is on record that the people remain
one of the oil and gas producing area in Nigeria that does not engage in militancies and destruction of oil facility as a way of expressing their frustrations and marginalization in the oil exploration process and implementation of federal character policies in Nigeria. Resolved, Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues, to mandate the Committee on Appropriation to allocate funds for the rehabilitation of Kwale Ogume Obiaruku Mutu Federal Highway in the year 2022 budget estimate. I so move.
Seconder, Abluminari.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Respected colleagues, Ari Mohammed Abdul Mumin, member representing Nasarawa Toto Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion heavily moved by a senior learning colleague, Barrister Sai Osai. I so second.
Are you sure it's Barrister? Don't give him what is not his own. He's not a learned. He's not yet learned. Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. That's have it. Respected colleagues, the 13th order of the day is a motion on call for the deployment of security operatives in Ilaje land in Ilaje SA Ondo Federal Constituency, Odo Federal Constituency, Ondo State, standing in Honorable Kolade Victor Akinjo. Honorable Akinjo is invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My very respected colleagues, my name is Kolade Akinjo, Ilaje Seldo Federal Constituency, Ilaje man from Ondo State. I rise to call for deployment of security operatives to Ilaje land in Ilaje Seldo Federal Constituency of Ondo State. The House notes that Ilaje Seldo Federal Constituency is a littoral region with a population of over 650,000 people, covering an area of about 2,036 kilometers, share boundaries in the west with Ogun State and in the east with Delta State, has a shoreline stretching towards the Atlantic Ocean in the south and covering about 180 kilometers, thus making the state perhaps the longest coastline in Nigeria. Concerned that Ibokoda, the headquarters of Ilaje local government area, despite its size and population, has been in a very difficult terrain in the recent times due to the issue of court clashes, which often destroy properties and result to loss of lives and injury to members of so many of the communities. And also concerned that the situation has caused untold hardship to the people who now live in constant fear of being attacked and are unable to freely conduct their businesses. The House is worried that the clashes have assumed a frightening dimension with the killings that happened in a broad daylight, even as popular musician, DJ, known as DJ Dominique, was killed on his way to a musical concert. And after this same event, more than 3, 4, 5 people had fallen to the bullets of the cultists. I recall that in 2019, an appeal was made to establish more security outposts with adequate personnel in Ilaje Seldo Federal Constituency, in addition to the existing 2 police state divisions located at Igbokoda in Ilaje local government area and in Ibekebo in Seldo local government area of Ondo State to secure the crime-prone area. Cognizant that the security challenges confronting the Ilaje SL Federal constituency, as mentioned, need the collaborative efforts of various security agencies, especially as the festive season approaches. They talked that the prevalent insecurity in Ilaje land has adversely affected socio-economic activities in the affected communities and in Ondo State at large, and the House will resolve to urge the Nigerian police force and the Nigerian Navy, and of course by extension to Army, to urgently establish more security divisions and mobilize additional security personnel to Ibokola and its neighboring communities in Ilaje local government area to investigate the cause of insecurity and bring the culprits to book, and also mandate the Committee on Public Affairs, that of Navy, and legislative compliance to ensure compliance of this very important motion. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my very dear colleagues.
Seconder, Jega.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, my honorable colleagues. I am Mohammed Umar Jega, representing Ali Rugondu Jega Federal Constituency. I'm from Kebbi State. I rise to second the motion, ably moved by my honorable colleague. I so second. Thank you.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. Respected colleagues, the 14th order of the day is a motion on need to stop the Federal Housing Authority from demolishing buildings in Festac Town in Lagos. Standing Honorable Ogene Ima Ego, Honorable Ogene is invited to move the motion. Chairman rules.
Honorable Ogene is not on the floor. I move that the motion be stepped down by the leader of the House. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Motion number
14, yes, sir. Ogene.
Motion stepped down by the leader of the House. Respected colleagues, the 15th order of the day is a motion on urgent need to carry out environmental impact assessment of telecommunication masts in Nigeria, standing Honorable Obua Azubapu Freight. Honorable Freight is invited to move the motion. Rules. Leader, what is the magic?
Thank you, Mr.
For the
Speaker.
first time, we are not abusing attention.
Honorable Fred is not on the floor. I move that item number 15 be stepped down by the leader of the House. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Motion stepped down by the leader of the House. Respected colleagues, the 16th order of the day is motion on need to support homegrown technology in Nigeria, standing in Honorable Adewale Taiwo. Adewale Taiwo is invited to move the motion. Or just stepping in.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Oluyemi Adewale Taiwo is my name. I'm a member representing Barakwa Isibo Federal Constituency, area of Oyo State. I have a motion on the need to support homegrown technology in Nigeria. The House knows that Dr. Olushola Ayola is the founder for the Robotics and Artificial Intelligence Nigeria, RAI, which is involved in gathering geospatial intelligence that developed the Carbon Emission Tracker Drone, CETD, to help the country deal with insecurity, as the surveillance system can help security agents trace bandits and terrorists to their hideouts. I was also aware that in August 2021, 21-year-old drone maker Ignatius Asabo made media headline for his invention, but has since left the country after he was offered employment by a technical company in Finland, which discovered him on Facebook. He has worried that many of Nigeria's talented innovators seem to be fleeing to other countries who offer them mouth-watering deals, whereas the federal government seems uninterested in granting them an enabling environment to thrive. The House hereby resolves to urge federal government to liaise with the Robotics and Artificial Intelligence Nigeria, RAIN, to provide advanced method of curbing insecurity in Nigeria. House also resolved to mandate the Committee on Science and Technology to ensure compliance. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Seconder, the boss.
Mr. Speaker, sir, honorable colleagues, my name is Mudel Awal Umar. I represent the federal constituency. I'm from Bauchi State. I rise to second the motion moved by Honorable Olayemi. I so second.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. Respected colleagues, the 17th order of the day is consideration of a bill for an act to amend the Environmental Health Officers Registration Act number 11, 2002, to give the Council more professional outlook and for related matters. Honourable members recall that the bill was committed to Committee of the Whole on Tuesday, 23rd November 2021. The House leader will move for its consideration.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Honourable colleagues, Alhassan Ado Dogwa is my name. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I represent the good people of Dogwa, Tudunwada Federal Constituency. I am from Kano State. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I rise to move that a bill for an act to amend the Environmental Health Officers Registration, etc. Act number 11, 2002, to give the Council more professional outlook and for related matters, HB 44 be considered by this Honorable House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable members, I so move.
Whip. Whip.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, my name is Mohamed Tahir Monguno. I represent Marta Monguno Nganze Federal Constituency of Borno State. I second the motion ably moved by the leader of the House.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. Respected colleagues, the 18th order of the day is consideration of a bill for an act to repeal the Pharmacy Council of Nigeria Act Cap P17 Laws of Federation of Nigeria 2004 and enact the Pharmacy Council of Nigeria Establishment Bill 2021 to regulate the standard of training and practice of pharmacy and for related matters. Honourable members will call the bill was committed to Committee of the Whole. On Tuesday, 16 November 2021, the House leader will move for its consideration.
Thank you once again, Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members. I remain Ado Dogwa, representing Dogwa Tudunwada Federal Constituency of Kano State. Mr. Speaker, by the will of God and the leave of the honorable members, I stand here today as the leader of the 9th House of Representatives. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, as directed, I rise to move that a bill for an act to repeal the Pharmacist Council of Nigeria Act Cap P17, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and enact the Pharmacy Council of Nigeria Bill to regulate the standard of training and practice of pharmacy, and for related matters, HB 334 be taken to the Committee of the Whole for consideration. Mr. Speaker, I so move. Thank you.
Honorable.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, Honorable Pajangawa is not on his seat. I beg to, please.
No, he cannot enjoy that privilege.
He cannot.
He cannot.
Musa Mohammed Adamu. I'm representing Babra Federal Constituency.
I rise to second the motion moved by the leader of the House. I so second, sir.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. That's have it. The Speaker colleagues, the 19th order of the day is consideration of report of the Committee on Treaties, Protocols and Agreements on a bill for an act to enable effects to be given to the Federal Republic of Nigeria, to the ECOWAS Convention on Small Arms and Light Weapons, their ammunition and other related matters, and related materials and for related matters. All members recall that on Wednesday, 24th November 2021, the House, the Committee of the Whole, deferred consideration of the report and mandated the House, Mohammed Tahir Manguno, Chairman, Committee on Rules and Business, Osai, to examine the provisions of the bill in line with the procedure on ratification of treaties. I now invite Manguno to brief the House. I think we're not yet there. For the resumption, for the resumption of the report first. It is when we are there that you will brief us.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, my name is Honorable Mohammed Tahir Manguno. I represent Martin Manguno, Ganze Federal Constituency of Borno State. I hereby move for the resumption of the consideration of the report in question. I so move.
Seconder? Yes, sir.
And to second the motion as moved by whip.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. That's have it. Leader move that the House do resolve the Committee of the Whole to consider report.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Honorable members, I remain Alasan Ado Dogwa, representing the good people of Dogwa, Tudungwada Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I come from Kano State. I rise to move as directed by the Speaker in the chair that this House to resolve to Committee of the Whole to consider reports.
Leader.
Mr. Speaker, honorable members,
thank you. Chief Whip.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, I remain Mohammed Tahir Manguno. I represent Martin Manguno, Ganze Federal Constituency of Borno State. I second the motion moved by the leader that the House do resolve to the Committee of the Whole to consider reports.
Those in support of the motion say aye. Against say nay. That's have it. As we have to resolve to the Committee of the Whole to consider reports. Respected colleagues, the first bill to be considered is for an act to amend the Environmental Health Officers Registration ETC Act number 11, 2002 to give the Council more professional outlook and for related matters. I now invite the House leader to give the synopsis of the bill.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, the Chairman, honorable members. I would like to crave the indulgence of the Chair, sir, and the honorable members to take on 17 and 18 at the same time, Mr. Speaker, for want of our legislative time. And ordinarily, Mr. Speaker, as usual, these are bills that are from the Senate, the Red Chamber of the National Assembly. I have on several occasions consistently said that we should desist the use of addressing the Red Chamber as the upper chamber of the National Assembly. It is a chamber that is of equal constitutional status to the House of Representatives. But we also have some symbolic colors to identify ourselves. I would like to refer to the Senate in this circumstance as the Red Chamber of the National Assembly. Mr. Speaker, in the light of our in the light of our harmonious working relationship with the Senate. These are bills that are from the Senate, like I earlier said, and I understand they are meant to make an improvement on the regulatory role to be played by some of these professional institutions. Like in the case of Bill number 17, is on environmental health officers, which of course honorable members can agree with me. This is one sector of our health mega sector that we need to give the desired legal framework to let them work effectively. My colleagues will agree with me that amendment to this existing bill to reflect not only what is supposed to be reflected within the operation of the environmental health officers' operations in Nigeria, but to be able also to compete even with other sister organizations around the globe, I think is something that is worth doing. I would like to plead with our colleagues, honorable members of this floor, to take it as a matter of urgent importance and something that really deserves our legislative intervention to help them create a more enabling environment for our environmental health officers to work in the larger interest of our people. The second bill, Mr. Speaker and Mr. Chairman, honorable members, is a bill for an act to repeal the Pharmacist Council of Nigeria Act. This is equally another professional body, and I believe the Senate, as a competent chamber of the National Assembly, has done the needful. I'm sure they have gone out to engage with professionals. They have taken the necessary things that they should take to ensure that the amendment on this, to repeal this bill, to bring it to the present status, is something that will be in the interest of our pharmacists in the country, and it will also be in the larger interest of our people. The two, like I said, are professional bodies. We need to really create an enabling environment for our professional bodies to work effectively and efficiently and be able to also rub shoulders with their sister organizations around the globe. Mr. Chairman, honorable members, I would like to plead with members to please consider and pass these two bills in order to improve the professional efficacy of these two professional bodies. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Leader, for the very eloquent analysis of the bills for consideration before us. And I believe that the stand, like he did mention, very important. Everybody in the north here knows the role of the Bugari, and this is one council that replaces that particular function. It takes care of our health, and then for pharmaceutical council, of course, we require to do away with the quack medicine stores and patent. We surely need them. Thank you very much. So the first bill to consider is for environmental. Clause 1, 2, citation. Memoranda. Okay. The remaining carried. Colleagues, the second bill to consider is for Pharmaceutical Council of Nigeria. Clause 1. Nine. 21. 25. 36, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, the schedules, 72, schedules, explanatory memoranda, long title. Respected colleagues, the next bill to be considered is resumption. You have to give us the synopsis of, the summary of your report, or what you have been able to do. Why did you stop?
Honorable Chairman, honorable members.
Completely?
My name is Mohamed Tahir Monguno. I represent Martin Monguno, Ganzai Federal Constituency of Borno State. Mr. Chairman, Honorable Nicholas Osai Osai is a member of the committee. Though I chair the committee, I will yield the floor to Honorable Nicholas Osai Osai to give the nitty-gritty of the synopsis of the reconsideration of this bill.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, distinguished honorable colleagues. Mr. Chairman, first of all, I want to thank you for the wisdom of constituting a three-man committee and the report of the three-man committee reflects the synopsis of the bill. The three-man committee met and in the wisdom of the laws and experience, be able to split the bill into two. And one is ECOWAS Convention, completely different, and from the National Commission, but for both bills to be passed concurrently. So I think that's what we've done, and the two bills are here as separated.
Thank you. But I don't know, are we now to consider, because has this one been laid before us, the light arms in terms of what they are seeking to be done here? Has it been laid before the Parliament for consideration? Yes, Chairman rules. Can we consider the two together?
They were initially combined into one.
Okay.
And then the instruction given to the committee, the human panel, was to now divide them, to separate the two bills.
Thank you.
We have done that.
Thank you. Yes. Article 1. 3. 7. 9. 11. 6. 7. 19. 29. Citation. Lounge on the light arms. Clause 1. Clerk, are we together? Thank you. Clause 1. Five. Why is 5? 5. 8, 11, 12, 13, 16, 18, 19, Leader, move that revert to plenary to report progress.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, honorable members. I rise to move that this honorable House do revert to plenary to report progress. Thank you, and I so move.
Our dynamic leader.
Okay. Chairman, honorable members, I second the motion that the House do revert to plenary to report progress.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. That's have it. Plan to report progress. Respected colleagues, the House Committee of the Whole considered the report on the bill for an act to amend the Environmental Health Officers Resolution ETC Act number 11, 2002 to give the Council more professional outlook and for late matters. Approved clauses 1 to 14, the schedule, the long title, and the explanatory memoranda of the report. Respected colleagues, the House and the Committee of the Whole considered the report on the of a bill for an act to repeal the Pharmacy Council of Nigeria Act Cap P17 Laws of Federation of Nigeria 2004 and enact the Pharmacy Council of Nigeria Establishment Bill 2021 to regulate the standard of training and practice of pharmacy and for related matters and approve clauses 1 to 72, the schedule, long title, and the explanatory memoranda of the report. Respected colleagues, the House and the Committee of the Whole consider the report of the Committee on Treaties, Protocols, and Agreement on a bill for an act to establish the effect, to enable effect to be given to the Federal Republic of Nigeria to the ECOWAS Convention on Small Arms and Light Weapons, their ammunition and other related matters and for related matters, and their ammunition and related materials and for related matters approved sanction upon resumption consideration of the article 1 to consider the article 1 to 32 citation, the explanatory memoranda and the report, and approve clauses 1 to 19, the long title and explanatory memoranda of the report. Are we done? Thank you. Maybe you have to find a way of couching this one, because this report that is attached is the establishment of the agency responsible for the treaty that was signed. So thank you. Yes, sir. Move for the adoption. Leader.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members. I rise as directed by the Speaker to move that this House do adopt the report of the Committee of the Whole as reported by the Speaker in the chair. Thank you. I so move.
Chief Whip.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, I second the motion that the House do adopt the report of the Committee of the Whole.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. Leader, move for the adjournment of the House to tomorrow 11 a.m.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I thank you, honorable members, who have been very patient with the Speaker in the chair and remain consistently on the floor. Right Honorable Speaker, on behalf of the leadership, and the leadership, of course, includes the leadership of the few that is being represented here by my brother, Right Honorable Ndudi Elumelu. I thank honorable members for being very responsible enough and remain right from the commencement of sitting till this moment. And, and I therefore rise as directed to move that this honorable House do adjourn to till tomorrow, Wednesday, the 8th day of December 2021 by 11 a.m. in the morning. Thank you and God bless you.
Whip.
I beg to second.
Respected colleagues, those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. Let's have it.
Thank you.
Very soon after our convention, there will be more massive movement from PDP and other political parties into APC.
Yes, sir.
That is by the grace of God.
Carried.
Thank you, sir.